tough times don't actually have to break you. They can help forge you into a stronger person. It's really down to how you respond to the tough times. So a simple example would be when I tore my scapula. So when I tore my scapula, Kung Fu was my world. That's all I did. And I remember it happening. I was sparring with a guy. He was a lot heavier than me and he went to throw me over his shoulder. So I went flying up over and I went for a break fall and he stumbled, and because he just had so much weight against me, I think I was about 9.5 stone and he was about 16, 17 stone. When he stumbled, I came flying back and whatever way I landed, I tore my scapula. I remember even driving home. I actually remember getting shouted at during the sparring because when we get up, I couldn't move my arm, but I picked it up and held it with my chin and then just fought with the other hand, which is fucking stupid. Don't do that. And I remember my coach shouting at me like, use your other hand, use your other hand. I was like, I fucking can't use it. And then finally the round ended and my arm just fell. That was the end of that. I remember driving home and changing gear because I couldn't use my arm. And then for like the next 2 or 3 months, I remember first month having to zip my hand in my pocket so I didn't do anything stupid because my job was coaching, so I still had to coach. And trying to coach with one hand, do everything with one hand. Even simple things like the towel in the bathroom was too high, so I had to put it lower. So, because of autopilot, I was reaching for it and it was hurting my arm. And I remember even getting checked over by doctors and being told that I shouldn't train anymore and I should get surgery and all sorts of stuff. Beyond painkillers at that stage, I think I've taken painkillers like twice in the last 20 years. So it wasn't something that I did, so I didn't do it. And I remember just having to sit down and think about this, that like I'm gonna have to give up coaching, I'm gonna have to give up martial arts, I'm gonna have to give up all of this, get a fucking real job, which I think the thought of getting a real job was actually what made me turn around and be like, fuck that, I'm gonna work this out. And I remember it was very sore, but I remember starting with just shaking my arm at my side, just rotating my shoulder. And then over time I was able to hold like a tin of beans and shake it, and then I got a heavier weight. And I started to be able to do wee bits of exercise, and Qigong and meditating was always focused on channeling energy to recover that. So the way that I thought about it was, I remember when I learned kinesiology, they were talking about how the body, I can't remember the exact, you can let me know in the comments, but say if it's, I don't know if it is, I can't remember, but say 90 days. By 90 days, all your cells are brand new cells. Your body shuffles through everything and makes new cells, old cells die off, and so on and so forth. So I can't remember if it's exactly 90 days, but some amount of days, and if I'm completely wrong, then let me know. So I was thinking, well, all I need to do is focus on this getting better, and in 90 days, all these new cells don't have to have the old memories. They can just be new, awesome cells. And now, like, there's footage of me doing ring muscle ups, and I train every single day again, and never have any bother with it at all. And now when I get injured, it's not as slow, it's a lot faster. My recovery is a lot faster because of that focus and going through that. So my response to the hard time was to really sit with it, sit with the pain, sit with what the fuck am I going to do if this doesn't fix? What are my choices here? If I go and get surgery, what does that actually mean? And it meant that I'd have a lot less movement in my shoulder than I should have. And I remember even after the shoulder, whenever I got it back up and running again, I remember wrestling and squirming out of a move my wrestling coach had me in. And he was just like, what the fuck, Liam, your shoulders move, they're so flexible. And me thinking to myself, yeah, but if I had it done the surgery, that would have ripped my arm clean off. So trusting in myself, and I'm not saying you should never go to the doctor or anything, like, don't be stupid. Like, I kind of was. Thankfully, it worked out for me. But doing the meditation, doing the Qigong, and always focusing on rebuilding that, bringing that, I used to just bring a white mist in, let it clear it away, and then just bring in healing energy. So it might have been gold, or usually it was gold or purple in my head. That was, again, what worked for me. Maybe something different will work for you. But I did that all the time. Like the pain was just feedback. It was telling me not to do stupid stuff. And then I was able to connect with myself and tell myself, right, I understand that I don't need, I used to be 24/7 pain. I was like, I don't need that. I know it's damaged and I'm trying to recover it, so I don't need it to be reminded every fucking minute of every day. So then that started to die away. So it was only like when I got into the gym, it was like a wee trigger in the gym. Walk into the gym, I had my own gym at the time. Walk in and my shoulder would like a parking sensor would just be like beep, 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 beep. Don't be fucking stupid. And then I would talk to myself and I would talk to my shoulder and I would say like, right, no, I know I'm not going to do anything bad. I'm just going to do this. And I would explain. Sounds a bit mental, but I would explain out loud what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And then I would go and do it and everything slowly but surely became stronger. And now, thankfully, I have no hassle with it whatsoever. So what I wanted to say here is the struggle reveals what's weak and what's strong. So my struggle in this shoulder one, and again, there's loads of mental things that have happened in my life that I could have went into, but I just thought this was a nice, easy story. And you can take just because you don't have a bad shoulder doesn't mean you don't have an injury or you don't have a mental issue that was going on. So my shoulder was weak, but it revealed that my mind was strong and that I could overcome this. It showed that the shoulder was weak, but because I then was realizing what I can't do anymore, I started to really think, fuck, you were capable of a lot of shit you just took for granted. So like doing muscle ups and stuff, I just looked at them as something I just did. So now, not only do I know that I can help myself overcome the injury, but I start to see how strong I actually was mentally and physically before the injury, and then mentally whilst working on the injury. I didn't let, even though doctors, other masseuses and kinesiologists went to, a lot of people told me that it would never regain strength and the scar tissue was going to cause me hassle for the rest of my life. And I didn't listen. Bullheadedness, whatever. I didn't listen. I believed in myself and I focused on myself and I believed in the art that I have learned, the Qigong, the meditation. I believed in the healing ability of the body and I believed in manifesting a stronger, more capable body, and thankfully that's what I have achieved. That's why I'm a fucking tank now. So I wrote here, you can't always avoid the storm, but you can learn to stand in it. And that's basically what I did. I didn't try to just run away from the injury and block it with painkillers and block it with other things. I just stood there, dealt with it, and then the storm passed. So this is your challenge for this week. Reframe the struggle. So take one current challenge and instead of asking yourself, why me? Ask, what is this shaping me? Like, what is this shaping in me? Sorry. And then journal it, sit with it, and carry that perspective into the week. So when I had the shoulder injury, I could have pyramid, like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I step off? Why did I not re-engage my brake fall on the other side? So many things I could have pyramid and whinged about, and now I'm losing, because I was making, that was my living, I was making a living doing this. So now I'm losing my living, now I'm losing this. I could have pyramid the whole thing, but instead I just stood there, stood in the pain, stood in the situation, and then worked out how to slowly overcome it, and then finally did. So reframe your struggle. Feel free to reach out to me, let me know how you get on with that. Until the next day, have a super awesome day, whatever you get up to. I'll speak to you again soon.